Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to there being content on the channel. Just wanted to real quick put up the deck list while we talk meta for a second. And I just want to first shout out Zurashi, Z-U-R-A-S-H-I, if I'm saying that right. For this deck list, I was scouring the Spellslingers Discord for any aggro deck that just looked competitive and felt possible to climb with. I think they themselves had said they got from 1900 to 2K with this. It pretty much straight carried me from 1800 to 2K. It's the first time I hit Mythic. And, just with how unhealthy this meta has been with the Jayce Alarm Bell deck in particular, the meta has shifted a bit. Like, I feel like between 1800 and 2K, a lot of what you're running into is aggro, because I don't think anyone wants to play Jayce aside from like the die-hard players. So my kind of thinking was like, all right, aggro's viable, and if I'm going to play against aggro, let me find a deck that's a little bit more mid-rangey or just has a way of like matching the aggro decks and then going over the top. Tried Sorin here and there. Tried Domri, which I think is like close. I had some success with it. Tried Kaya, tried Angrath, tried Chandra, but none of those even really felt super consistent to me in what they're doing, and even just trying to fight through the Jayce matchups. Jayce has knocked out all the control decks out of the meta for the most part, unless you are like a diehard control player. Kind of forced everyone to go aggro, and now we're sort of in this rock paper scissors thing where like I see a Jayce deck one in every 5 to 6 matches, but a lot of what I'm playing against was aggro. Just look through the Spellslingers Discord, and Zurashi had piloted this list, I think, from 1900 to 2K. There's a slight variation, and we were actually talking last night and sort of thinking about what could be additions, but I just want to showcase this deck for, for anyone who's, like, really just looking for a deck that they can play into the control list and, like, can play into the aggro list. And it's funny, my last piece I'll say here is, like, I hated Drizzt for a while when I first started the game. I thought it was way too overpowered. That was back when the passive had Trample. But I will say you could interact with it. You could build your deck to have removal or build your deck to have efficient creatures, right? Even when you tune your deck to beat Jayce, it is just so consistent. And, like, basically you can't interact with it that I think it's just a particular type of unhealthiness for the game, and they know it, and they're going to change it. And I think this deck has legs, and hopefully I'll be able to show y'all that it's not just play all your haste, legendary cards and let that do the work for you. There are some really cool interactions in this deck. But so this is the list. I'm hoping to pump out some more videos this week now that I'm in Mythic, can play around and not worry about just like losing a ton of rating. And yeah, so I think let's just get into it. And while we're waiting, we can do a little bit more chatting. It just was tough, going into just playing into Jayce and like other aggro decks. I definitely I did not want to play Jayce myself. I tried it a little bit, but I just, you sit there and you sort of tinker by yourself till turn 6 or 7. And people have even added like the card that gets back artifacts that you've used that turn. That just makes it even more consistent. And it's nice that now I can actually try some different builds that could be good post Jayce meta. Because there's so many different builds that I think are competitive. They're just not as consistent. I even lost to a couple like interesting like Liliana Gutfire decks or some like specifically tuned Kaya lists. So there's definitely different options. Okay, so we're playing into Teferi. I think this matchup's pretty decent for us, as long as we play around the traps well. So definitely, I don't hate keeping a Grudge match, but I think I'd rather just see if I could hit a different start. Yeah, not great, but if we hit Traveler Supplies here, that would be nice. Didn't. Okay, we'll pass the turn. So yeah, you might be looking at some of these cards and being like, why are you running Elvish Infuser? And like, you'll see some other ones, but I think the cards interact really well, and the person that built this deck, I think, really put a lot of thought into, you know, what is the, how am I able to be efficient into control, but also efficient into aggro, and I think it is a hard question to solve. So here we'll just run out Infuser, buff itself, pass the turn. The next turn we've got the option to probably just Grudge match something. Playing Yeenoghu, I don't think is particularly good right now. Good start for them with Isochron on turn 1. So we'll see how this pans out. In Moorland Haunt, this land is so much work in this deck. I mean, it'd be even better if I had like Zozu, which I think 100% needs to be in the deck. So I'll say that real clearly. If you have Zozu, put it in this deck. I need to craft it. It's one of the legendaries I don't have. Okay, so they got a card. They played Staff, and they got another trap, or they got their first trap. So this is interesting. So I could go Daughter into Yeenoghu and start getting the legendary procs rolling. I actually think that that's correct because they didn't play anything to interact with here. So I think this is just the most efficient we can be. Yeah, it's good 7 damage as well that they weren't able to interact with. Let's see what they do here. I imagine a good turn for them would probably be like some sort of creature, or just holding up Immolating Glare. That's definitely going to be good. If they play a creature, it's good for us because we can Grudge match, and then even if this dies, we get to play a 4/4 Tarmogoyf. Okay. So Yak. Yeah, I've seen Teferi with this build. It's pretty good with Moorland Haunt. This is also a card I've considered in this build, too. Okay. So this could be Disorient. That doesn't really matter. And I think just the most man-efficient turn is to just have these fight. Oh, it's got armor. Okay. Well, I guess at least we get that. Good combat. They're just getting really beaten down here by Yeenoghu. We just followed up with a 4/5 Tarmogoyf. And then next turn, play Ulrich. I mean, Tarmogoyf is good with Moorland Haunt. Any of the legendary creatures, for the most part, are good with Moorland Haunt. Sometimes you get back to Yeenoghu with flying. I mean, it's just... I think it has probably the highest level of synergy with Drizzt. Just purely because you're running haste legendaries that, you know, have other effects and things like that. So really what we need to do in this scenario is just play as, you know, as smart as we can when it comes to, okay, that doesn't really do a whole lot. And we're attacking. What is it? Some of these lists run like opening salvo, which would kill this if we block. I don't think there's any incentive really for us to block here. So they have some sort of combat trick. I don't know what. I guess if they do have opening salvo and I block here, it's not that bad. I'm trying to think of what other traps they have. Can't really... Okay, armor is fine. That doesn't really... Oh! Survivor's Luck. Okay. That makes more sense. Alright. I think they're dead anyway because of Ulrich, but maybe with like a Disorient up, that's enough to save them. Because I guess the Disorient... Yeah, I mean, my line is pretty clear here. So they could Disorient either one of these. They get to trade with it, or they get to block it. Okay, so they eat the Tarmogoyf. Oh, It's just survivor's luck, right? And that's a GG. I mean, I think obviously we had a good start, and I think into Teferi, it's our game to lose because we just have really efficient creatures, and they have to draw their traps like in the right sequence. And when you play the around Teferi enough, you kind of know what to look for. So let's just hop back in. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I don't think there's much to explain. But like, let's say you're running into a ton of Jayce, right? I think with this list, you just want to always do your best to curve out. And some of the great interactions you get are just... Oh, okay, we're playing the same player. Well, we'll see how this goes. So they've got Yak, and they've got the fight survive thing, and they've got the armor package. So we definitely learned a lot more on potentially how to play this matchup. Okay. So let's see. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're on the draw. I mean, I think we just keep. I think this is just totally fine. If we draw a 1-drop, that would be awesome. So see how they start. I don't think they usually have much on 1 mana. And there's our alarm bell. Interesting. Alarm bell is good in our deck, but I don't think it's as broken as Jayce, to be fair. So this is interesting. I could go... And I think I want to get on the board here. The question is, how do I want to do it? Would I rather alarm bell and see what I hit and play something next turn, or would I rather just run out the Infuser, or do I play nothing, keep the gem? I don't think it's the third option. And I think I would rather save alarm bell for later. It's hard to say, actually. Let's run this out. Let's run this out, see what we hit. Okay, Birds, Tarmogoyf, Drizzt, Herald. I think for now Herald's going to be a little bit better for us, as we can go Infuser into it. Okay. I'm not sure there. I mean, there are a lot of lines where I think Infuser's better, but we don't have any interaction in our hand, so I guess it's just best to see if we hit something like a relevant creature off of Alarm Bell. And I'll say, like, for Alarm Bell, that would not be my go-to thing to think about for this deck. I mean, yes, you've got legendaries, and you've got ways to utilize it, but, like, is it actually that good? I'm just going to burn it now and see what we hit. Okay. Yeah, because you can hit either of these, which I think is such a relevant thing. So we've got 2 mana. Yeenoghu is obviously good, but I think I'd rather just get the Malice out because we have ways of getting it back. Just play Daughter of Runes, play Malice, and the turn. So Alarm Bell, it can get you your cheap legendaries. Obviously, that's good. And with travel supplies, or travel prep, as it was in Magic, you just buff the legendaries that you're choosing with Alarm Bell. And at first I was like, is this interaction that powerful? And it is. Just being able to have card selection for the legendaries that you want. It's not always, right? You can whiff on it. And being able to buff them is just... It's just a really powerful thing. Okay, so they got a free trap. This card is definitely a little bit annoying for us to deal with. I think it's probably going to be run out Infuser to give to our card here. This way we get a legendary proc for free. It's not going to die to this. I wonder what trap they have, though. Beginner's luck. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. Not much we can do about that. The other option was to run out Okaun. Maybe because they prepped the trap, that was a better line. Didn't actually give too much thought to that. Okay. That is acceptable. Do we block? I don't hate blocking here, but if they have another luck, it's gonna be. Yeah, I guess I'd rather draw it out now. Okay. So it's not Survivor's Luck. Okay. Well, we don't really have viable attacks without playing Drizzt. And I think we do want to resolve Okaun, so I think let's just start travel prepping, and then we'll end the turn. It's definitely a less than ideal start for us, so we're really going to have to try and out-card advantage them. Them having Alarm Bell, that's going to be tough. This card is just, I mean, if you're going to nerf something, it's probably nerf this card. If you're going to nerf stuff out of Jayce. This card is just, it's too efficient. And with Jayce's specific passive of when you draw a card, you get, it takes one off of their special ability. Like, drafting is just insane. Oh, we have to ask ourselves what this card is. We could take the 5 and then Infuser next turn. This is really tough. But I also kind of want to trade because I just want to run out Ulrich. Okay. Alright, I'll take that trade. Yak. Okay, that's fine. Yak is not a problem. But I'm down to get my free card and my legendary proc. So I was also talking to Zarashi last night and the creator of this deck, and they caught Ulrich, which I definitely understand. Like, you want just cheap legendaries. But I will say this just feels so good when it resolves. It's usually hard to block, and just getting a free creature every time it attacks, usually you get like 2 free cards off of it. It just feels, it's like a planeswalker. Like, you have to deal with it, and it's getting you card advantage. Okay, well, this is tough because now they're going to be able to have 2 traps up. One that costs 0, and then probably one that costs 2 or 3. So we have to figure out how we can play around that. Okay, Yak. Okay, so it's either Armor or Disorient. Or Survivor's Luck. But any of those don't actually... I don't think we care about that. Tajic has decent... doesn't really have a great attack, but yeah, they also have a free trap. Could play Tajic. Though, we could run it out. Or we're just playing like 3 2-drops. Just want to think about how efficient we want to be. I'm kind of down, though, to trade this. But I guess we don't. It's really hard to say. I think this is good enough, though. We have to be able to pressure the board. I guess if they could disorient this and eat it, that kind of sucks. But get armor. Yep. Makes sense. that. That's reasonable. Okay. Now, how do I want to play this? We could eat the turtle. It's not the worst. Or we play a 2-drop. We could infuse this. Or I could infuse it next turn too. I think this is good enough. I think we want to... the turtle can be pretty annoying. Vindictive shot? Oh, no. Oh, it didn't work? Oh, no, it did. Okay. Alright, well, we get Malice back. Did their Moorland Haunt proc? It looks... I think it did. If it's Yak, that's... I mean, honestly, if it's any of these cards, it's going to be rough. But now, our Moorland Haunt can potentially proc on our stuff too. Acolyte. Yeah, that's a good one. It's definitely going to make this next turn more of a headache for us. So if they attack with Yak, I'm pretty sure I just want to block. Because I want to be able to, you know, at least trade into it with Malice. You have a decent line with being able to pass these. Okay, Survivor, Beginner's Luck. I mean, I would rather have it proc in this sort of situation. We don't have a valid attack with Malice anymore, but it doesn't take much for that to be true. Interesting. Okay, Hero's Calls could definitely give us more options. But the other line we could take is just like play a bunch of creatures. No, let's just... Oh, the negate? Oh, no. That's unfortunate. Oh, now we've definitely got a problem. Alright. Yeah, negate's a good one. There's only so much you can play around, man. So they're gonna draw like 3 extra cards this turn, I guess. That's... Yeah, this is not the situation we want to be in. We want to be beating down. Oh, man. So we could trade and take 8, but I think that's bad. I think we want to block the Yak. Their trap's going to go off, so I don't know. Ready to rumble. Okay. Yeah. Alright, well, I'd rather block the 7/7 then, if that's the case. It's a cool build. Creature Teferi with the Axe and Moorland Haunt. That's what I mean. You get to Mythic and you can, like, I don't know, play against probably a wider variety of decks. Oh, wow. Put 3 random creatures from each player's graveyard into their deck. Alright. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have enough card advantage to get our way through this. Okay, absorb on that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let's hit. Did not hit. I guess if it flips, maybe it transforms into a 4/3? I'm not actually sure how that works. Okay, do you have negate? No, you do not. Alright, maybe we go all in on Yeenoghu. Oh, because we had the travel prep as well. Maybe that's the play. Yeah, because then we can potentially get Malice back. Okay, so what are the cards we want to sacrifice? We have 5 mana, so it has to be 2 and 1. So I guess, I mean, the wolf having sneak, I don't know how relevant that is. So I think let's do you, Yeenoghu. Attack. Okay. Champion's Grit. Oh boy. So the Yak's gonna come back, I think, as a 6/6, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, I mean, pretty good turn from us, but they play their next trap and they've got 2 new cards. I mean, there's like a decent bit of card advantage in this list, but 7/7. Yeah. Oh boy. Scepter. I could easily draw something to kill Yeenoghu or interact with it. We'll see. See if we get maybe lucky with some of the Moorland Haunt procs, we might have a shot. Okay, those go back in the deck. Interesting. Because it's like an anti-mill card for like the control matchups. Or maybe they're playing it into Gutfire. That makes more sense. So we can give this +4 up to 7. It's just not enough though. Let's see what we get off Alarm Bell. I mean, I guess Pier's a threat. Yeah, I think we just attack. No disorient? Okay, that's good. Oh, pep talk. Ugh. And then it gets... Oh, it doesn't get the proc. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. And they take 5, or do they block here? And I think we're just going to play Pure. Well, no, we shouldn't do that. I guess we'll play Pure and this. Let's go Pure. I guess we play the biggest influencer. Yeah, because we want to attack. I guess that makes sense. And we get Malice back. Nice. I was wondering if we had enough to proc that. Oh, they're Moorland Haunted. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know that we can win through these gigantic Yaks. It's a cool card. I think it's really good in a Johnny too. And I piloted it in a Johnny list for a while that I thought was really good into aggro, but I don't know. It didn't feel consistent enough to me. Like, some of the Johnny's cards are like a little suspect as to like if they're good or not. And now that I've played with Travel Prep or Travel Supplies and Alarm Bell, I'm wondering if that package is just what you want in a Johnny. Might be worth investigating. Oh, boy. Yeah, they've got 6 cards in hand. No, that's so good. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize that interaction could happen. Yeah, 7/7 Flying Yak. You hate to see it. I mean, hopefully we've got some draws that could kind of help. Okay, I mean, Mystic. Oh, I guess, do I want to bait something out here? What am I infusing here? I guess I'll infuse my Infuser. Ward +1/+4 +2 +3 gets it to be a 6/9, so I guess it can attack through. Oh jeez, yeah, it doesn't even do it. Sure. I don't really know that we have a great play. I think we're just getting in. Okay, Emulating Glare that. Yeah. We really need Moorland Haunt to proc in these next couple turns, or I think it's probably over. Alright, I think I do. Yeah, just play this out, and I'll make, to play around some sort of like 2 toughness kill card potentially, I'll just make the, that legendary. So we're going to take 7, nothing we can do about that. We got a 13. I think if they have even reasonable cards in their hand, which they should, they're going to get to like draw an extra 2 cards probably on our attack step. Yeah, I mean, we really need Moorland Haunt to maybe proc this next turn and draw like a relevant creature. Second Son. Huh. Okay. This card's interesting. I could see. I mean, oh right, because it's in the Jayce matchup. You're also putting cards back in their deck. That's cool. I like that tech. Okay, we procced, and it's an actual card. Okay. All right. So the best way to do this is just to buff the creature they want to block the least. Get the proc here as well. Play Ulrich. Now if we attack with everything, this goes 7. So they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Disturbance. So that allows them to block here. Damn. If they didn't have a relevant trap and they had to block here, and then this flips, that would be huge. But that was a good trap to have. I mean, I think the block is just block. Okay. Oh, okay. They want to get back, I guess. Oh, and I guess they don't want to use that trap on this card. Alright, I mean, they have Wrath, which they should. We haven't seen it yet, then we lose, but I think the only way we close out the game is by play out the Outcast and we double flip and get upgrades, and that's it. Okay. Oh, it doesn't retain the thing, and it flips into a 6/6 trample. I mean, we're probably going to get Wrathed here, but this is pretty sweet. Oh. Okay, it did lose. Okay, so it doesn't just straight flip into a better creature. Yeah. If they have Wrath, it's over. Okay, Yak. Giant. 11. Holy heck. This is crazy. That's sweet. I dig this build. Alright. Let's see it. Absorb? No. No. Okay, so they go block, block, and they take 3, 4, 5. Well, no, they just block the cat and that should be it. So if I hold back this card, I can block this. Gives us another turn. Right? Because otherwise we lose. Yeah. So I guess we attack here and here to get the proc. And then they go block, block. Yeah, I guess that's because blocking with this, they just block these two, and then they take. Oh, I guess they couldn't take 11. I should have attacked here. I was just running out of time. I wasn't sure. So I think pretty clearly they just go block, block, or block, block. Yep. And we have a flying blocker. That's fine. And they take 3 and go to 8. And Wurm's Wake. Oh, jeez. Okay. And Moorland Haunt. All right. Yeah, that'll probably do it. So they'd be at 6 instead if we attacked with this. So that's just something to keep in mind if we if those 2 points mattered. So I think it would just have to be like lucky Moorland Haunt hit, lucky off the top, and for them to have nothing, because I'm sure any trap that interacts with us is plenty to deal with it. Basically, I guess the best draw would be like I block with this and we Moorland Haunt this back, but I don't know how likely that is. Wonder what they're thinking about. I feel like you just sent, right? No. I mean, maybe they don't want to give us that proc. I guess that makes sense. I mean, that gives us another turn to live, technically. Right, so... Oh, this loses a legendary. I did not think about that. I mean... What can I do here? I just put the Wurm on the cat, and they go block, block, and they take 5. And if they were at 6, they would go to 1. So I guess I can't attack, right? The attacking does nothing for me. This is such a weird... such a weird game. So I guess the only time we can attack is if we know we have a Moorland Haunt proc to be able to block the Flying Yak. I think that's how we have to play this. It's a good game. I honestly I didn't expect for us to get as far along in this game just purely off of the fact that I felt like we didn't curve out. I mean, I think if I'm then, I attack in, right? I have to block. You Grafdigger, hope you hit this, right? I have 18, I have 10. I mean, I don't think we're gonna mill out here, but I mean, they must just have a million traps in their hand, right? Okay, well, the Outcast I do want to get on the battlefield. Obviously, I can't attack with this. Is there any... So if I attack with everything... Oh. Okay. I think they disconnected. I mean, there's no way you concede from that standpoint, I don't think. Alright, well, I think they won that game. I think we played it as best we could, and either they were upset because I was, I guess, playing slow, or maybe they had to go. I don't know. Alright, let's see if we can get one more game. I mean, this is great that we're winning, but I want to see if we can get a game against a different matchup. So yeah, after this game, I'm just going to throw the deck list up again. Maybe have a little post commentary, and then I'm going to try and put out at least, I would say, 2 to 3 other videos before the rank reset. Just for other ideas that I've been kind of working on from different lists. And okay, and we're playing a Johnny. So this, I think this matchup is pretty close. Pier is obviously good to have. Tarmogoyf is good, but it's not really great now. I think we just ship all these back till we hit. Okay. Still iffy on this one of Giant Growth. Like, sometimes it's really clutch. And I don't think people really expect to play into it that often these days. But it's also really kind of conditional, and like, I just think the more proactive your deck is, the better. Divine Smite, man, if we can set up the board somehow that we don't get Divine Smitten, that would be great. But we need to draw like a relevant 2 or 3. And I guess we could attack next turn with Giant Growth. I don't think there's any world in which you would block, but... Ah, jeez. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just a free fight spell. Okay, interesting. What do we do here? I guess we just play out Herald itself. Pass the turn, and then next turn, either Tajic or probably Giant's Growth Tarmogoyf. They have another fight spell. This is going to be devastating. When I was playing this deck, and might be one of the decks that I put up, I play the 3-drop that, like, you choose one of your other creatures to fight, and I think it's insane in this deck. I know it's not good necessarily into control, but control also have to deploy creatures, and because of that, it's a great card. It procs a Johnny, and it like gives you a free fight spell on a 3/2 body. Okay, so this is pretty clear. Giant Growth. Don't have any way to interact with Regna, sadly. I think you probably just snap this off. Could just take 4, but it's like a pretty easy block. Okay, it's good because we also get the Divine Smite down 1 tick. Don't imagine they're blocking. So we have a choice here. We can play Daughter of the Runes and save our gem, or we can play Tarmogoyf. I think with the way the board's developing and the likelihood that this is going to die to Divine Smite, we just want to play another threat that's going to be able to attack. Because also if they spend their mana doing that, I might just slam Tajic and try and force the trade with Regna. So, but I think you should always be considering if it's worth to keep your gem or not, right? Because it's just a free mana that helps your curve when you need it. Because if they go 1-drop Divine Smite my 6/2 and I play Daughter of Runes, what am I doing, right? Okay, 5/6 Wolf is a problem. Okay, Infuser on Wolf. Yeah, that's really tough for us to deal with. Herald's not a draw. I mean, we can't sit here just taking 3 and then building the board. I think I do trade this off for a proc. And maybe play Tajic this turn. Or I could just go Daughter Herald. This is really rough. And if they attack, I kind of want to keep this back, because if they attack, that's really good value for us. So I think... Okay, I think in that case then... I mean, it's mana inefficient, but I think with the way things are going, we just hope that we can draw a fight spell for Regna on our turn. And if we're taking 3, it's better than just getting beaten back down by this wolf. I mean, I would Divine Smite this, probably, which I'm sure is in their hand by now. I could have forced the trade and gotten a proc, but... God. Yeah, this is just really tough. Okay. I mean, if I'm then, I just feel like you just keep chipping in with Regna. I have to do something, right? I'm really thinking here. I guess they're thinking, is it worth it to trade the wolf for something? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that seems great. Yep. Okay, alright. Well, try and get the toughness down. Take 4. This is pretty bad position. Our best draw is definitely Grudge Match, I think. To be able to eat the Regna. Wow, that's... yeah. Yep. That seems really good. Okay, Invoke the Dawn just is not going to do it. Man, even if we attack with Ulrich, it just doesn't do anything. I mean, it gets us a creature, but trades 5 toughness on this. This is like not even that good. Oh, Lord. I guess I would want the +1/+1 here to be able to attack through. So I guess the best line, play Tajic. I think Invoke on Tarmogoyf. Make sure, so that way it guaranteed hits Ulrich. And we don't attack. We take 4 again, it sucks, but there's not much we can do. If they attack, I think we just try and trade off and maybe chump the wolf. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and they drew another card. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I think a Johnny is a little bit favored in this matchup. This is an interesting build. I haven't really seen stuff like the Grove Protector, but I do think that looks good. There's the Divine Smite. Okay. Yep. Go to 10. I mean, the only good news is we can play Ulrich and get a free attack. If they don't have any traps, which they definitely could be running. If we draw a Grudge Match, that's good. Can definitely kill the Regna, and then they'll probably swing. I may play one more game just so I would love to show y'all the travel prep, like alarm bell sort of sequence, but don't know that that's going to happen. Mystic's good. They have 2 mana open, and they drew an extra card. It's gotta be some sort of trap, but I don't think we really have an option here. I think we're just playing Ulrich, we're attacking with that. Okay, Hermit's a card. Interesting. They just wanted to straight jump it. Okay. Wow, they really had nothing else to play that turn. So they must have like 4s or 5s in their hand. It's like the only thing I can think of. Oh god. Yep. Yep, just your casual 6/7 Stoneforge Mystic. So I think next turn. So we just play out Stoneforge Mystic, see what we hit, and then kind of decide from there if we want to attack or if we want to try and get upgrades. Because if we can give maybe something flying, like if we get lucky on that, at least Tarmogoyf can jump for a turn. Yeah, well, I think I will happily jump here. Take 4 down to 6. Untested rookie, yep. Yeah, Birds of Paradise is not it. Trample, haste. +3, +2. Guess just raw stats might be the best thing for us. I actually think I need to trade something off to play Hermit and flip. No, I actually have to trade 2 things off because I need to be able to play. Oh, Jesus. That's so bad. But I guess that's the best thing we can do. Well, because we play birds, we go back up to 4, then we play hermit. Yeah, no, we can't flip. We actually can't. So birds buys us a turn, and then we try and upgrade everything. I guess that's the move. Relentless? +3, okay. I would love a flying. Can we get a flying pride now? Okay. I mean, we're not dead. Guess that's the good news. Sure, they just smash in here. I mean, they must just have other creatures in their hands. Or Ori of Courage, yep. Yeah. Turn them sideways, friend. Or I guess for the creatures that it's a free attack. Okay, armor goes on the biggest, I think, here. Man, I can't even trade off for this, huh? I guess in that case, then, I don't even want to do that. So we're definitely blocking here. There's no question about that. And then this has Relentless. So I guess we're blocking here. Can't take 7, so just gotta block here. Okay. Malice. No, Malice. I don't think that's it. So we're just taking 6, but we can gain life. I actually really need them to block this. Question is, yeah, I guess I have to attack with 2 creatures then. Because I can't guarantee this getting blocked, but I think he will block this. If I give this +3, +2, can I attack in? Okay, yeah, that's worth. build something. Should be okay. Nice. Okay. Great. Just needed them to block something so we could get the lamb on our board. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Again, probably delaying the inevitable, but at least want to try and play the game properly. Okay, yeah, that's GG. Just make sure they actually attack with it. GG, GG. Solid game from the Johnny player. See if we can get one more match into a different Planeswalker. Okay, Vraska. Alright. I think this is a tough matchup too. Because she just tends to be like the best mid-range deck in terms of card advantage and stuff. But, oh, I haven't seen this build with this land. Okay, Malice, probably one of the best openers. Yeah, I like this, because then we can maybe make it more of a threat. Grudge match. Yeah. Looks good. We're on the play, too, which I think is pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, Westville Abbey actually seems really good with the fact that they're just able to gain life and stabilize really easily. Yeenoghu, that's interesting too. But yes, let's just make this be able to attack through. I'm telling you, Infuser does so much work in this deck. It's crazy. That was something that the creator was saying. You know, it seems like really just whatever, but it really helps your buff your creatures to get across the finish line and have favorable trades. Please don't have Throne. Okay, interesting. So what's the play here? It's definitely Grudge match something. Would I rather put this as 3 power or put this? I think it's probably just... do this. Get those procs going. So they'll get a creature here, but they're not going to get the double proc. And we'll play the bird. Depending on what they play this next turn, we might just run out Yeenoghu. Because all of our stuff is kind of easy to block now. It's not a bad proc. So after you draw a spell, makes it 2/2 flyer. Yeah. Throne. Ugh. Yeah. One thing I definitely learned from playing a good amount of Vraska earlier in this season is that this deck is just a whole different thing when it has Vraska's Throne or a way to sack. It's just when you just draw raw creatures and removal, it's fine. You know, it's like a serviceable deck, but when you're just able to get like insane card advantage, it's really crazy. Okay, so we have a couple options. We could run out Ulrich first, or we could just, you know, basically trade play Pier, something like that. We have a lot of options, actually. But I mean, playing Yeenoghu, we have a reasonable chance of getting Malice back. It's hard to say what the right play is here. But I think this is good enough. It's a lot of damage. Okay. Alright, we should get Malice back, because if that was the fourth creature, I think, that died. Okay, that's nice. Just take the armor off. Nice. Okay, yeah, we get Malice. Alright. They have the 3/2 lifelinker, which is pretty good. Chillwind on Yeenoghu, that makes sense, but they only have one, I think. So that's good. Yep, sack the 0/3 for something relevant. Makes sense. At least they're not getting double finale. As we'll just get buried in card advantage. But our attack's still going to be pretty good this next turn. Ooh, okay. Well, I had to say something. Tarmogoyf kind of shuts that off. Yikes. And if I play Ulrich and we have a land next turn, then this will flip. Question is, do I want to play Drizzt? Herald. There's not really any value to it. And I guess I could play Ulrich. I don't think we should play this on our turn and pass. I don't think that does anything. If I attack with Malice, it gets a proc, but it doesn't really do much. I think we should add this to the board. I don't really think... I hate passing the turn here. Oh man, and they got another 3/2. Drafting something, it looks like. Reclamation. Okay. Chillwind. Yeah, that's pretty good. Right. Attack with Tarmogoyf. I think I'm down to trade here. And then I might just try and trade off. We'll see. Okay, Haunt. For Infuser. Okay, well that's incredibly relevant. Alright. But also so is Grudge Match. Jeez. Oh yeah, but we don't have enough mana. Okay, perfect. So let's do the do. To attack, good to attack. The question is, do we want to attack with Pier? Probably. Okay. Yep. It's obviously a reasonable block. You could block here. Yeah. Yep. Take 4. Alright, it was a good turn for us, and we got Malice back. You know what? Them not getting a mana gem each turn, though, I have to imagine is kind of hampering their ability to develop the board. They've hit it 3 times, I think? Which is, like, pretty unlikely, right? That's 30% chance, yeah. Because they have to deal with these 3 threats, right? So now I feel like we're in a great position. And the fact that they blocked that 1 turn to not get double chill for this, I think, was really, really important for us. We know they've at least got the 3/2 with lifelink. Not sure what else they could play. Nothing. Okay, is that GG or okay? Maybe they DC'd. That's unfortunate. All right. Well, I think that wraps it for the games for today. Nice. Okay, good win. Good win. All right, let's just hang out for a quick sec. Just to sort of talk about the plan for the next week. Let me put the deck list up so folks have plenty of time to look at it. So yeah, this is the build. I think the main interaction that we didn't actually get to really see is turn 1 travel supplies into Alarm Bell, and just how powerful that is. I think the questionable cards are like, obviously Zozu needs to be in here. I don't have it yet. And then you'll see like a couple one-ups, like Wurm's Wake, Hero's Call, Armadillo, Cloak, Giant Growth. Cloak can be absolutely backbreaking, especially on Yeenoghu. I think Wurm's Wake is still just like, can be a very efficient creature that is harder for decks to interact with, so I still like that. I think Hero's Call as a one-of is perfect. Just access to an additional legendary. Okaun, I'm like, he's a big beefy boy, but he's not evasive, he doesn't have haste. But he's, I think for the 3-drop legendary slot is pretty good. Giant Growth, I think the power of this card is people are not used to seeing it anymore, right? Since it got nerfed from 2 mana for +3/+3 to 2 mana for +3/+2. I do think that if it has a good home in this deck, or if it has a good home, it's probably in this deck. And the rest I think makes sense. I'm still like unsure if Daughter of Runes should just be like the 2/2 the first time it fights. It gets +2/+2. Like maybe you should just be leaning into like more of an aggro bent rather than like efficiency, where okay, obviously Daughter of Runes giving armor to some of these legendaries is huge, but like how much do you value armor versus like a more powerful or efficient 2-drop? You could also build it with, I think, that card, that 1-drop in green for 2/2 that gets +1/+1 if you have a creature with 5 power or more. I mean, you've got Tajic, you've got Ulrich, you've got, oh no, Okaun doesn't count. I think there are different ways you could build the deck, and again, just shouting out Zerashi for, I think, really finding something kind of interesting. And like, what I like about the deck, you guys saw in that first game against Teferi, it played itself, right? There's nothing really special to talk about. But this deck has a lot of intricacy to it, which is why I like it. How you set up your Invoke the Dawns, how you set up just efficient turns where it's like, okay, I've got a Birds of Paradise and 2 mana. Do I go Travel Supply Matron or Daughter of Runes, or do I play like my Alarm Bell? Do I want to play Yeenoghu here? Does it make sense to hold off on Tarmogoyf? Like, who am I infusing? Who am I grudge matching? Who am I making legendary? There are a lot of decision points, and I think you saw, like, a lot of the times I'm thinking out, okay, is this line better? Is this line better? Because the deck has a lot of different lines it can take. I think you can build it more aggressive, more mid-range, have different synergies between cards in it. But I would really recommend anything remotely close to this. You do need some of the haste or legendaries, so like if you don't have Tajic or Ulrich, think it's going to be a little bit tougher, or Yeenoghu or Zozu, right? Like, this is not optimal. I should be running Zozu. It's insane with Moorland Haunt. But, even if you have a few of these cards, like, I think the general... You could make it more aggro, and just be kind of like an efficient aggro deck that has the chance to draw some legendaries. I think that's viable for a budget build. But I think I'll close things out there. I'm sure the video is going to be a little longer. Just really excited to have gotten to Mythic, being able to play different decks. And I just wanted to shout out that, Zerashi, who, worked on this deck, was happy to Discord with me about it. That was really cool. If you have not joined the Spellslingers Discord, I super encourage you to. I think you can just probably Google it and find it or whatever. You could just go into each Planeswalker channel and look up builds that people have been working on. It's a cool community in that way. And I'm going to hopefully get out, I would say, at least 2 more videos to y'all this week, showcasing different decks. And anyway, I appreciate those who are checking back in on the channel. And if you can, subscribe. That'd be great, just so you can see other stuff popping up. And I'm really hoping to pump out some more content when the patch hits, I think, December 9th. If that's nerfing Jayce, I think just the meta becomes... Who knows? Maybe there will be a new menace, right? We went through, like, Drizzt meta, Ashiok meta, and Jayce meta. I'm not opposed to something else being kind of meta for a while. That is surprising, but I think this deck's got the legs, probably, post-patch, and I think it's really fun. I really recommend it. So thank you all for checking in, and take it easy.